Yeah, sorry, Jeff Pigram, 5513 Meadow Pine Court, Orlando, Florida 32819, citizen of Orange County. I am a recently appointed member of the Community Advisory Committee for Metro Plan Orlando, so appreciate this forum to come and interact with all of you where I normally wouldn't have the opportunity. First off, this is tough. You're dealing with an asset that this region has never dealt with before across multiple counties and multiple municipalities, so I just want to at first recognize all of you for your hard work and all the years it's taken to get to this point. And now we're on a cusp of a major, major expansion, and it's very, very exciting to hear about the 4D train operation for Phase 2 South. I think that's going to make a tremendous difference filling in those service gaps. That's very exciting to hear. On an ancillary note, I'm not sure, can you change it to the slide for the SunRail fare structure? There was something I noticed during the meeting today. Yes, so on that slide, I don't know if this is intentional, but between the counties, when you switch from County 1 to County 2 or County 3 to County 4, all the costs are consistent from one element to the other, similar to the Title VI requirements you mentioned, except for weekly. If you look at weekly, it is $8 more if you go from one county to 2 county, $9 more if you go from 2 county to 3 county, and then $8.50 if you go from 3 counties to 4 counties. So I don't know if that's a transcript, like some error that the weekly for 2 counties should be $25.50, but it just stood out to me of all the columns, that's the only one that differs.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it.
So, other than that, I just wanted to kind of ask some follow-up questions at the Customer Advisory Committee. I'd asked Ms. LaCory some information about Phase 3 to the airport. And I know that Metro Plan has identified that as the #1 transit priority for the entire region. And it obviously is very important to everyone to see that move forward. So it is somewhat disconcerting that in 110 pages of meeting material, there's nothing for what we have said publicly is the #1 priority for the region. And so I know Ms. LaCory, it's the last time there are funding challenges and related to the $250 million estimate. And so looking into that, I was somewhat confused that the Small Starts Agreement code, according to the US Code, states that you are eligible for Small Start if the total net capital cost is less than $300 million. So then I double checked that again with the annual fiscal year 2019 capital investments grants program published last month, and that criteria again says they must have an anticipated total capital cost of less than $300 million. So I'm wondering if that criteria has changed, if the project is now eligible for small starts. And in looking back at former meeting minutes, there were a number of occasions where it was said, there's going to be a public hearing on Phase 3, fall 2016. And then fall 2016, there's going to be a public hearing in February 2017. And then in January 2017, we don't know when the public hearing is going to be. So it's been a year since then, and there's no public documentation on Phase 3 to provide feedback, insights, thoughts. So just wondering, when is the public going to have a chance to kind of discuss Phase 3 and how important it is to them, and explore other opportunities similar to Denver with their private-public partnership? I know if I were a Fast Park or a parking entity, private company, I would love to build a parking garage next to your transfer station where you shuttle people and all I have to pay for is the garage. It sounds like amazing opportunities.
You made your point. Let's see if we get some answers.
Oh, absolutely, sir.
Nicola?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, the criteria actually did change, but what you quoted is correct. And so it's not that we exceeded a cap for that grant, but what there are 2 pieces to it. So would it qualify to submit for a grant? Yes. However, there's a cap in there that says that you can't apply for more than $100 million. Right. Okay. So you're very familiar with that, which means that there is $150 million that has not yet been identified. And so as with other projects, and again, I do want to make the point that Commissioner Delary made on the other project, this project is not part of the 61-mile rail corridor. So there is nothing that identifies what the state and local commitments, financial commitments would be. So of course, before you want to go out to get grant opportunities, you have to identify what those other funding sources are, and we don't have that at this time.
If I can add a little bit more to that.
Jacobs?
Oh, thank you, sir. In what's not present or obvious in that is that there has been an effort that is going on with the City of Orlando, with Orange County, the Expressway Authority, and the airport, and DOT, to look at a public-private partnership. Well, actually, a private partnership on public land, so more private, less public. And that had been taking place kind of in the background, trying to negotiate the terms of that. It eventually, and fairly recently, fell through. That opportunity still exists. One of the things that is not also frequently discussed is that we have taken a back seat to finishing the existing system, something that I don't think, I understand Felicia's frustration, but something that has, I don't think, ever maybe been, the council maybe is not considering the fact that this link is a very extremely important link to the public, and we've put that in terms of any federal funding on hold, trying to finish the Volusia section. So staying true to our core mission and trying to stay true to our partners to the extent of our ability. The opportunity still exists. That particular corridor is a really prime corridor if you're going to look at a partnership with the private sector. So still a very real opportunity, I think, for us. We just as partners have to come together, I think, and set the table a little better for that partnership before we pursue it again. I want to thank you for serving. We've had a vacancy. Thank you for stepping up to the plate. I am extremely impressed with the level of work you put into this. I don't know what your major is. Look forward to, or are you out of college? What are you doing right now?
I work professionally as a civil engineer.
Perfect, of course.